Yes, well, go on, people. What you saying? It is I, Diligent Fingers, and welcome back to the Viewpoint. Ah, boy, I'm gonna be talking to the men again. I'm gonna be talking to the men again because, oh God, come across a video on YouTube, um, and just some of the things that were being said just ended up just setting me off because if there's one thing that I don't do as a person that makes content and like this and like previous videos and when it comes to mental health and things like that, if there is one thing that I don't do is I make sure not to speak with authority on things that I can't possibly experience, especially if I am claiming, which I don't do, but especially if I am claiming to speak for men, to speak for people that can't speak up, to speak for this or speak for that. Yeah. The one thing I don't do is try and speak with authority on things that I can never experience. So again, when it comes to how we as men deal with females and as how females or everyone in between, non-binary and stuff like that, deal with us, we have to be careful, but we have to be sure in what we are talking about. And if we are claiming to speak for other people, this, that, and the third, then we have to make sure that we definitely know what we're talking about and we're not just speaking off our own view. We are actually considering as many sides as we possibly can. And here is a great example of when someone is not doing that at all and is not representing who they claim they're supposed to be speaking for at all. And we will go through all of the bad arguments right now because me personally, as a black man, I'm sick and tired of this shit. I really fucking am. I am sick and tired of this shit. Seeing other black men go online and talk with authority on shit that they know they don't have authority on. And when they're presented with other sides, which are true, which are factual, which should be considered in terms of how you are shaping your viewpoint in dealing with the opposite sex. Instead, they try and turn it into some sort of bullshit analogy that tries to make everything either black or white, when as humans, we are too fucking complex for anything to be just black or just white. It gets on my fucking nerves. It gets on my nerves to the point that I'm sorry, I have to make a fucking video about it because, come on, we've got to do better as men, and especially as people that are going to put ourselves online and talk as if we're speaking for whether it's a majority of a community, a small part of a community, or the whole fucking thing. We need to do better. We need to do better. We need to understand the spaces that we are going into and do better. So, what I'm talking about, sorry for the long 4.5 minute intro, but what I'm talking about is this video that I have found from Your Aunties Could Never. Now, I've been watching content from Your Aunties Could Never for, nearly 2 years now? I think I first found him towards the end, like as we were coming out of lockdown, Like, so maybe, yeah, I'd like say towards the end of lockdown and shit. So maybe 2022, I think. I've been watching them since. And I like these four women. They're very blunt. They're very straightforward in what they say. I don't always agree with everything that they're saying and stuff, but they never come out with anything as egregious for me to like make a video on and, do you know what I mean, be this passionate about things that are wrong that are being said. Do you know what I mean? I'll also say that with every video that I end up making, I do watch up until a certain point, and then I have to stop because it's like, right, I know I'm going to be going into this with what I've just seen, but I understand that there's going to be more to this video that I've not heard yet. And that's where, you know, the more natural reaction to it. And if I need to be checked, if I, you know, am wrong about something, about a perspective, or, you know, something that I've got wrong, at least you'll be able to see that reaction and see myself being checked and me checking myself in real time. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. So up to a point, and I'll let you know when it gets to that point of this is the point that made me want to make this video. I've seen it, I've seen everything, but after that point, it's all just gonna be in real time reactions. So with that being said, been watching Your Aunties Could Never for a while now. They've been talking about, you know, what has been going on socially, politically, just within the, do you know what I mean, social space and stuff. They brought on this guy called My Name is China. And that talking about an interaction that he had with another content creator, claims to be a life coach, and she ended up approaching the situation in quite a racist way and stuff. They talk about that. The You know, the title of the video is there. I'll put the link in the description as well, so you'll be able to watch the video yourself and get caught up on all that kind of stuff. But this is the part that really interested me, because as a black man, of course, I'm going to be sort of tuned into what we are talking about and how we are talking to each other. And, you know, there's a lot of things that we need to sort out as a community amongst ourselves. Do you know what I mean? As well as everything that we are dealing with as a community from, you know, outside of the community and stuff. So I'm always going to be tapped into these kind of things, whether it's across the pond in America or here in the UK and stuff, you know. So I've seen clips and content from My Name is China before and shit. Again, some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with. I'd say there's a lot that I don't end up agreeing with when it comes to My Name is China, that I do agree with and stuff. But this has been the point where I've been like, right, no, I've got to call some things out. Do you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, at this point, the lady on the right, I'm so bad with names, but the lady on the right, she gets the chance to, you know, sort of articulate that she has mixed feelings about the person that they're interviewing about China because of the content that she has seen from him in the past talking about black women, and how China ends up dealing with all of this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's like he's not listening. He's just going straight into defensive mode, and it could, yes, it could be because of situations that he's been in the past. But again, that leads me to the point of you've got to deal with every situation within that context, rather than how you dealt with things or how somebody else dealt with you in the past. Do you know what I'm saying? And shit. But yeah, enough of the preamble. Let's get into it.
To realize why I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's what's important now. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go on.
I think I've got complicated feelings
Go on.
because while I do not like any sort of injustice against our people. I think some of the things that you may have said in the past or how you've kind of come across hasn't necessarily been positive towards black women. So I think I'm just processing at the moment.
I wouldn't say.
That's why I'm just like not saying much. I'm just listening to what you're saying. Because
I've never made it. But of course, I'm from I come from black women. That's the community. So that's what I'm going to care about. That's what I care about. But it's never been about black women. It's about women when we speak about stats. But yes, of course, this is the community, and this is the community I'm going to care about. So if I'm going to speak about single mothers and the broken homes and lack of father figures and the stats, because that's what affects us. Like, we have a serious problem here, and nobody wants to speak about it. And it's not blaming women. I've got 3 sisters. Okay.
You see how much he's gone into when all she said is, she's got complicated feelings because of some of the stuff that she's seen in the past, and she's not really saying anything. She's just listening to what he's saying, even though towards the end he'd already started going into defense mode. And he's mentioned all of these things rather than asking the question, okay, what are some of the things that you've had a problem with and stuff. He's already preempting what these women are thinking. So he's already trying to answer, do you know what I mean, and defend all of these things before anyone's even actually pinpointed specifically what their problems are. This is the first issue. This is the first issue straight away, because you're not really listening to actually understand. You're listening to react and defend yourself. Do you know what I mean? You're not really going into this with good faith. You probably watched some of your aunties Cove Never. You probably watched some of their content already. Do you know what I mean? So you have an understanding of maybe what their viewpoints are and how they feel. But rather than taking that on board, you've already got it into your head, right, okay, these women think this way, so I'm going to have to deal with it like this because, instantly, you're going into super defense mode when they've hardly said a thing.
All married, all with child. It's not fluke. My brother is married as well. I'm the only one that's not. So I will only speak to women like how I speak to my sisters and how I was raised to be a protective of women. And I think in a space where you don't really have men that are going to speak like that, you can understand that it can rub some people up the wrong way, but ultimately I've never ever spoke bad about black women. You can't find one clip about me speaking bad about black women. You may find me speaking about natural hair debate and what it says to our black young girls, but it's a deeper consciousness I'm speaking about. I'm not telling you what to do with your hair. Wear whatever what you want to wear. I'm just saying, what do we say to our young black queens when in order for them to step out into the world, they need to do this? It's a deeper conversation, but people are going to say, oh, stop speaking about black women's hair. Like I don't have 3 sisters and nieces, like I don't do black women's hair.
Because, okay, I think this is a problem. A lot of black men say this, like, people aren't talking about it. This is, we come from the debate world. This has been debated since I was flipping 13 years old. It's out there, and there's always been a black man, similar to you, in this space, talking about black women.
Can confirm, yes. How black women have their hair has been a debate and been a subject of conversation, topic of conversation for black men, as long as I could understand that this is what black men talk about. This is what black men and black women argue about. It's been a running joke in America when you see American comedians, they always pull out a joke about a black woman's wig. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? And saying, oh, black men are scared to talk about women's hair. Why do you need to talk about women's hair so much? Why does that need to be a topic of conversation? Oh, well, women talk about this and women talk about that. So? So what? If that means that you don't like those women that talk about men in a certain way, cool. You don't like them. Go and hang out with the women that don't do that then. Because sure enough, like me, who doesn't take any energy or time to talk about black women's hair, there are women that don't talk about black men's height, black men's this, black men that. Like, this is a choice that you're making. And yes, it could be for the sake of, the young black women, this, that, and the third. But again, you're only coming at it from your perspective as a man. And your perspective as a man when it comes to black women's hair is very narrow. Very, very fucking narrow. I am a man with locks. To you, I am what could be to a person like him, and yes, warning, I am making an assumption. But to illustrate a point. To someone like him, if he's talking about natural hair, this is natural. I am a good representation of a black man representing themselves naturally. But when I was younger, I had the twists. I had my hair dyed in different colours. I even had my hair straightened. Because it was fun. My mum took me to barbers. I used to get waves. I used to get patterns, words shaved into the back of my head with my fade. Lines, stars, this, that, and the third. Twists, braids, colours, dyed tips, all that kind of shit. Why? Because it was fun. Fun hairstyles. Why is it that men can have fun with our hair and no one bats an eyelid, but women can't? It's such a thing with women. It's such a thing. Now I know women, black women, that have had problems with their hair. Our hair is very disobedient. Our hair just does what it wants because it can be very thick and very, very curly. So there are times that there's not much that can be done with our hair. Black men and especially black women. Confidence is going to come into that. Self-esteem is going to come into that. Because it's something that is right there for everybody to see. Your hair. It's going to represent a element of how you take care of yourself, how you carry yourself, if you've got good hair or not. Now, by what black men like him are saying and alluding to is that black women can only have one certain type of hairstyle. That's it. Their options are limited. Why is that something that we need to put on black women? Why is that a thing? Why is that something that we need to put on to black women? Oh, because, well, black women talk about this when it comes to men and talk about that when it comes to men. So? Oh, well, it's my preference. Okay, cool. Go and find the black women with natural hair then. And it's going to come up. It's going to come up in this conversation. But literally, if you like a certain thing, go and find the women that have those particular things that you like.
But what I want you guys to do is talk to your fellow man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy. And women in general, we get spoken to a lot.
Yes.
From all factions. Women talk to us, men talk to us. And it's the same thing. Do this, do that. What are you putting out there? Like, a lot of things aren't done for the male gaze. And as a man, I would prefer that you guys spoke to each other. Why are you attracted to this certain type of woman that looks this certain type of way, that is wearing hair from a dead Chinese person and it's been chucked in the river and they've sewn it together and made I would prefer you spoke to a man.
You know I do, right?
About that.
You know
no, but generally, the clips that go viral from you are targeted. So you don't have to
no,
talk
but
like that.
But I'm saying to this, right, yeah. See, I can show you whole shows I've spoken to men and they don't go viral. See, the algorithm, your algorithm will show.
I'm just gonna put in this point. She said at the end, you don't have to talk like that. You don't have to talk about these things. Here's his response.
No, but you know when you're saying something and it's going to be clipped.
Hold on a second. People clip me. I'll make my own clips, but most of the clips that exist.
You know, whether you clip yourself or not, you know, in this day and age, you know, China, what people are going to respond to and what people are not going to respond to. You're making this point right now. You're saying, oh, I've done whole shows where I've talked to men, but nobody listens. Nobody's clipping that up. Right. So that speaks to a point that they are making, whether it's you clipping them up or somebody else clipping them up. The fact that you are taking time to talk about another woman's hair in public, knowing that that has been a topic of conversation for time, even though you're saying people are scared to talk about it. No, it's been talked about for decades, man. For as long as I've been alive within the black community, how women have their hair has been talked about within the black community for decades. But in this generation of click, rage baiting, clipping, sensationalism, all this kind of stuff, you know what you're doing, especially now. You know what you're doing, China. You know exactly what you're doing.
Exist and not me clipping up, you know.
Yeah.
It's other people, right? So here's the thing. I can tell men all of the stuff that you say, but what men are going to say is, men can't even speak about the women's hair. No man wants, okay, men don't want this, okay? They don't want fakery. They don't want it. But they're not going to...
That's a lie.
But that's who they go out.
It is a lie. China, getting vexed and pulling your face. It may be that you've been interrupted. I can give you that grace because I hate being interrupted as well. But that is a lie. You know that's a lie. Otherwise, men wouldn't be going for it. You're talking as if we don't have a choice. You're talking as if we don't have any control over ourselves. And if we do, and if you're claiming that we do, then why isn't it being enforced? Just accept that people go for that kind of thing. And she's asking why. Instead of going, oh, well, men are going to say this. And you couldn't even finish your point. Men are afraid. Men can't talk about what black. You stop that straight away because you got proved wrong. So now it's men don't want the fakery. If that was the case, then men wouldn't be going for it then. Women would have a clear indication, yo, men don't like this. So I wish I didn't do it now because men aren't actually attracted to this. Like, stop, man. Stop.
It's a lie.
Hold on a second. Men don't want it. When the men say we don't want it, listen to what you say to us. Listen, when we say we don't want it, this is what they get. Men don't want to get what I get. So what they're going to do is they're going to deal with it. Do you understand? Doesn't mean that...
Men don't want to get what I get. What is that? What, to be specific in what you're saying, you're glossing over things. Men don't. What is it that you have that men don't want to get? So they don't go for the natural women that they say that they want. They go for the fake boobs, fake ass women that they say that they don't want. What? They put up with it. They put up with it, even though it's something that they don't want. That's what you're saying. Men are saying. So you're going to do, for me, I'm not going to look at the women then. I'm going to look at the men. Why are you going for something that you don't want? Why are you putting up with something that you're not happy with? And if the answer is going to be because I'm lonely, then you have to accept as men, if that is your answer, then you have to accept as men what you're getting yourself into. You can't blame the woman for being how they are and you putting up with it. No, take the time and go for the woman that is actually what you want, instead of just putting up with shit that you don't want. It still reverts back to the men.
They want it. So then you're going to say the women that they go for. Listen, if every woman is doing that style, who are they supposed to go for?
Every woman isn't doing that style. Again, that's your problem. Every woman isn't doing that style. You're not going out and looking for them. You're not actually attracted to them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking this way. You would have loads of examples of women that are not like that you would be able to point men in the direction of going for. Listen to what you're saying. Yet you're trying to speak for the women. And with valid things. You're going to say, well, look at the men that they go for. Yes. That's what they are seeing. Especially as the women that you claim that you want, they are seeing men go for what they claim they don't want. And if men are going for that, that is not them putting up with it. That's them choosing to have that.
You say, okay, they don't pick the natural girls, but I say, why are you going for those men? They are men that love natural women, you know, but you focus.
How is that switched? How is that switched for from men don't go for the natural girls? How is that switched to why are you going for those men? What?
They don't pick the natural girls, but who are they supposed to go for? You say, okay, they don't pick the natural girls, but I say, why are you going for those men? They are men that love natural women, you know, but you focus, not you.
That doesn't make any sense. You're saying the women are going to say, look at the men, what they go for. They're not saying they are going for those particular men. They are saying we look out and we see what the majority of men go for. How is that turned into look at the men that you're choosing? How?
Women focus on the men which don't like natural. And I'm like, why are you looking at those men? It's like when good women will say stuff like, oh, but, you know, men don't, when I do my hair natural, men don't, or do this style, men don't approach me. Then I'll say, hold on a second. I thought you didn't do your hair for men. You women, not.
What are you talking about? They're giving you valid reasons, and instead of actually listening to them, you're combating it with another argument. I thought you didn't do your hair for men. Wait, what? What? Do you guys want to get with women or not? What is this? What is this combative nature? What is this combative aura? What is actually happening here? So you're saying outside of an online debate, yeah? Because if you're basing the whole dating world on online debates, then that's another place where you're deluded. But you're saying outside of that context, a woman that wears her hair natural, she might have it in a couple funky styles every now and again, but they could wear their hair natural, come to you and be like, yo, men don't approach me when I wear my hair natural. And your response is going to be, oh, I thought you didn't do your hair for men. Like, how is that helpful? How is that giving any kind of advice? And with it being the very thing that you claim you want, okay, men don't want fake stuff. A woman comes to you and says, when I wear my hair natural, men don't approach me. as a man that doesn't want fake stuff, you claim you don't want fake stuff. So as a woman coming up to you saying, I'm wearing my hair natural, but men don't approach me, your response is going to be combative and to say, oh, I thought you didn't wear your hair. I thought you didn't do your hair for men. Where is the advice there? Where is the understanding there at all? Like, I'm really trying to rack my brain as to why that would be the response that you would give, unless you just want to try and put that person down rather than lifting them up. Oh, well, maybe, the places that you're going to, do you know what I mean, don't have the men that you're looking for. And I say this because the thing that he's going to use is the club or the pub. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Not you, just women in general, pick and choose when you want to decide whether or not we do things for men or not. And if you are doing things for men, what I would say, the majority of men that I speak to, they don't want to deal with that, but they will deal with it because they don't want to go through what I go through.
But you know what? And I get it, because...
Like, as a man that's trying to follow on to your point to actually explain it to the women so they can understand, you have done a horrible job because you have jumped from one thing to another, and it doesn't really make any sense, except to the people that are like, yeah, you do this and you do that, rather than actually trying to explain why men that claim they want natural stuff don't go for women that are natural. You've not explained that at all. All you've done is combated that with, well, you guys are argumentative. You guys don't make any sense. You guys go from one thing to another thing. So stupid.
This is always the retort. It's a lie. All
Yes.
I need you to do is go and stand in a club and watch what's going on, and you
Thank you.
will see the women that the men are going for, and they generally are in a bust down, and they literally are generally lighter. It's not like we're not making this shit up.
Okay, so
why are you talking to women about
So
it?
let me
when
do it
all
a
they're
different
trying
way.
to do is conform.
And that's what, okay, so this is conform. Why are my women conforming? Who are you conforming
Who
to?
are you talking to?
Wait,
Why are
but
you
men-
talking to the people that are trying to get a mate? Talk to the men and be why is it that you only want that woman?
men
What are
conform
you,
as well.
who is buying and who is selling?
Thank you. Men conform as well. Men conform as well. Right? It just make it just. Why is it? What like? Oh, the whole basis that he is trying to come from is just argumentative and combative. You are sat in front of some women, yeah? Some women have their hair natural. One of them doesn't have any hair at all. She's wearing a hat, but she's bald. She's cut her hair off. She doesn't have any hair at all. Still beautiful. But still, one of them doesn't have it. You're talking to women that could have a multitude of reasons as to why they do their hair the way that they want to do their hair. That is nothing to do with attracting men. Conform could be, oh, a lot of women are wearing that hairstyle. They like it. I might like it too. So I'm going to conform, and yes, I'm going to probably look like all these other women, but I like this style too. I think this style looks good on me. It gives me confidence. It boosts my self-esteem. Could be nothing to do with a man. Nothing at all to do with a man. Hard for a lot of people to believe because in this world, everyone seems it. Well, no, I'm not going to generalize. A lot of people seem to believe that everything has to be done just to attract the opposite sex or just to attract a mate. Everything has to be, every single thing has to be done for that purpose. When even that in itself is just not the case. But yeah, man, everybody always finds love in the club, innit? It's the only place where anyone can find love. It's just in the club, nowhere else. Both sides. Your auntie, because the aunties, and well, at least this auntie that gave the example, and China. It's only in the club. There's nowhere else. Nowhere else.
The thing is, men.
Wait. Who is, sorry, darling,
No,
I'm
no.
not disrespectful. Who is buying and who is selling?
It isn't.
Who is buying and who?
And this is the point that made me want to make the video. Why does everything have to be transactional? Why does every single thing have to be transactional when it comes to men and women? Why? What, just because money is spent? Money is spent on everything. To get to the club, you've got to spend money on travel. To enjoy yourself in the club, you've got to spend money on drinks. Whether you find a mate or not within the club, you spend money. Even before anything has happened, you spend money. It's just a part of life. To do anything, to get anywhere, money is involved. But for some reason, that has to be the singular core of the majority of online men's argument. Case in point, who is buying, who is selling? What if nobody's buying and nobody's selling? What if all of the women that are in there are literally just there to enjoy the music and have a good time with their friends? And they've dressed how they just want to dress. And you're the only person who's buying. What if that's the case? You are the only person who's buying. What if everybody else, the majority of people that are in that club, already have partners? They could be at home. They could be with them in the club. Strange concept. Completely strange concept. But what if it's actually impossible to pinpoint the specific intentions of every person in that club? Just what if? What if it's actually impossible, which it is, because none of us are mind readers, but what if it's actually impossible to be able to pinpoint the intention of every single person that's in that club? Exactly, to the T.
In a
It
buying
doesn't
and
actually
selling.
go that way, because it's like when you talk about things arbitrary, that's not
No,
how
but I'm
it
trying
works
to. No,
in a
because
relationship.
because when we're out in a nightclub, who is buying and who is selling?
Everybody's at it.
Okay, no, but who is?
Everybody's at it. That's the best way you could put it. You could assume that everybody's at it, everybody's trying to get this, that, and the third, or nobody is. But trying to put it in this stringent, who is buying, who is selling. And he's going to try and force the issue, which makes it even worse.
Who is buying and who is selling?
Literally everybody is
So
at
what?
it.
Am I selling?
Some people are buying, some people are selling.
Okay, so
and
for the
that can be
purposes
either-
for purposes of discussion, we're gonna say the women are the selling and the men are buying. Okay, all right, okay.
No, because sometimes
So do you-
it doesn't go that way. Like
Do you
people.
He's just not listening. This is the problem. You're not listening. Women are literally telling you some are buying, some are selling. Everybody is at it. It is not as simple as the women are selling and the men are always buying. It could be the woman is buying, the women are buying, and the men are selling. It could be that way. Like, why is it such a hard concept for him to understand and then find another way of articulating his point?
approach men when you go out? You approach men?
Like literally, a woman is like, oh, in an isolation, like, oh my God, this is how I want my hair. No.
And this is where I'll say, this is where this is completely fresh for me now. Like, because like I said, that point of, as soon as he was like, well, for the purpose of this argument, we're going to say the women are selling and the men are buying, because that actually strengthens my point rather than the point that you're trying to make. That makes me more right than you. You see what I'm saying? It's not to understand. It's just to react. It's just to be right. This is not a conversation in good faith on your part, China, because you're so set in how you see things. You can't actually understand another point of view. You claim that you do because you claim you speak to other men and this, that, and the third, and this is what men tell you. You're sat in front of women that are telling you, not other men, women are telling you something that goes against your point. And all you can do is just try and find ways to just strengthen yours rather than trying to meet in the middle.
They are being told this is the look that you need to have.
Okay, let's discuss that. Let's discuss that. Who owns the media companies and who owns the hair companies?
But we know
are these black men?
So this is the thing. So
Wait. No, but
What like how have we moved from, okay, it's an issue between us within the black community to now it's a white person's issue. Who owns all these hair companies? Black men? No, it's not black men. It's white men or white women. Like, you keep jumping from different points rather than staying on topic. How is that? How is the owner of a hair company going to bolster a point of women doing a certain thing in your eyes? Like,
if we're gonna discuss this, then let's discuss it. Who owns who is putting this image to women of?
No. This is another thing. I'm sorry for stopping this, but this is another thing that pisses me off. If we're gonna discuss it, so let's discuss it. You're already discussing it, but now you are choosing to move the goalposts. That's what's happening here. I know you're trying to make it out as, oh, you want to have a full discussion about everything. Yet the core of it is, why are black women doing this, that, and the third? And yeah, there is the whole beauty standards and this, that, and the third. But again, how men treat women has got nothing to do with beauty standards. Nothing. Men's preferences, yes, that has to do with beauty standards. But how men treat women, especially within the black community, has nothing to do with beauty standards. Nothing to do with societal beauty standards. So whoever may own a hair company that women choose to use has got nothing to do with your preference as a black person. Nothing to do with that. So this is just a mute point. What point does this prove?
But
beauty.
who is buying into
But
it?
who is perpetuating? Who is selling? See, in order to have this conversation, there's different parts of it, and one of the parts of it.
And as a man, I just want you to talk to men.
See, I am talking to men. I am, but when I'm trying to talk to you and say what men are telling to me, you don't want to listen to me, and this is the problem.
Because it's not factual. Because men actually demonstrate this. This is the women that they're going for.
This is why I keep saying women don't listen to men. You have a man here.
You're not listening to them. It may be you, but right, here's a problem. This is why you can't speak for all men. You yourself, your personal preference may be natural. Why can't you illustrate that? Why are you so set on speaking for other men when you cannot articulate why they are going for what they are going for? And putting up with it, what you said before in terms of men will put up with this and put up with that, that's not a good enough reason. What are those women there supposed to do with that? Men just put up with the fake shit. Well, we're not fake. So listen to us. We're saying we're not fake. So You're talking about BBL. You're talking about 4 black women, well, 3 black women, 1 lighter skinned woman. No disrespect whatsoever. And that, please, no disrespect. Just saying how it is, what it is. And they're telling you when they look out, this is what they see. And instead of actually saying, well, I can't really talk for them, but for the men that I speak to, they don't really want that. That's how you get out of that situation. That's literally how you get out of that situation. Instead of feeling like you're being attacked and then claiming that you're speaking for other men, that's how you get out. I can't speak for the men that are in the clubs, but for the men that I talk to, that's not what they go for. And I'll do a bit of predicting here. The natural question for that would be, well, where are these men looking then? Where are these men looking? And if it's a case of, well, where are you women going? And they're going to the club as well? Well, then, both of you are stuck in a stalemate because both of you are looking in the wrong places for what you actually want. Both of you. Both the women and the men in these situations where the only place you go to find a potential partner is in the club or the pub, both of yous, both sides have fucked up because yous are both looking in the wrong place for what you want. Both of yous.
As the man
No,
them's
I
voice.
want men to listen to men. I want you to talk to a man.
But I do, but you're not listening to me. I've come here and...
How does that make sense? How does that make sense? She's saying she wants you to speak to man. You're saying you do, but women ain't listening to me. Instead of getting combative, you could actually say what you're saying to men. You could actually say what you're saying to men. But instead, you're too stuck on trying to prove women wrong. When all women want you to do is just talk to the man them. It's literally, it's not that hard. It really isn't that hard. It's really not that hard.
I speak to men, probably more men than you, depending on what I'm doing, right? And they've told me these things, and I say them, and then you act like it.
Okay, I've got a question.
Go on.
Right? You're saying that men don't want it.
No, I'm not saying...
No. You said that, right?
They'll prefer, natural,
You said men would prefer natural women, right? We cannot get away from the fact...
Like, let me highlight right there, how quick he was to defend himself when it was against something that he actually said. You're saying men don't want it. And you had to just calm down and check yourself. No, that's what I said. Yeah, natural. Yeah. Chill, bro. Listen. Listen to understand instead of listening to react. That's the problem that you have. You are not actually listening. You've got 4 women there, 2 that are listening to you. They're sat there listening to you. And one of them who's actually checking what you're saying, who's pushing back on what you're saying. And you're just defensive. No one's ganging up on you, bro. Nobody is ganging up on you. But you're acting as if you're just being jumped on. No, chill out. Sit there and listen to what they are saying. You've heard one side. You've heard the men's side. Now listen to the women's side. That's it. And if you're saying that you speak to men, highlight what you're saying to men then.
fact that a lot of men that say they prefer natural women have never dated a natural woman. But I know an abundance of natural women. So what is that? If they're out there, why are they not dating them? At least one. They should at least have one in their bag, innit? Why are they not dating them?
I can't tell you about those men.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you...
There we go. There we go. Look at that. Hey, was it so hard, was it? We got there in the end. Hey, yeah, but you still gotta fuck it up though.
About the aesthetic that majority of black women present, and that is not of a natural hair aesthetic. Okay, it's not for me to tell you what to do.
What's natural to you?
No, when I'm talking about natural, they're talking about without weave. You're not talking about you can't have your nails done or your lips done, makeup. That's not what we're talking about. They're talking about majority comes down to European style weave. So if you want an extension or afro hair, like if you're going to talk about protective style to your ethnicity, that is fine. Like see how you have now here, yeah, that's cool. But when you start bringing this European bust down, Chinese mink, no, man don't want this. And if they're going to want that, they'll rather date the woman who it grows out of, and then women are going to get mad and say, oh, you're dating outside your race. But hair is one of the things, and I'm just saying it to you.
You just, again, because you're so defensive, bro, you're just racing through so many things. You're just racing through it. You're just rushing through so much shit because you are so defensive. For something that you're not even, for something that you can't even talk about. You're so stuck. You're so stuck on trying to tell these women, yo, nah, we don't want that. Okay, so what are you telling these men that are frustrated about these things? I can tell you straight away, instantly. I can tell you straight. Where are you looking for what you claim is natural? Where are you looking? In the club? All right, try looking somewhere else then. Come out of your comfort zone. Try looking somewhere else. If you're going to the same clubs every week or just going to clubs every weekend, and you're not finding the woman that you want because all you're seeing is weave this, fake this, bust down, BBL, whatever, look somewhere else. Look somewhere else. Stop banging your head against a brick wall and just look somewhere else. I know it's easy to talk about the club, but there are other places than the club. It's like workplace relationships are not a thing. So many people end up meeting potential partners in the workplace as well as the club. But that never seems to be talked about. From what I've seen, at least anyway. And this is coming from somebody that has been single for nearly 10 years, hardly goes out in clubs, and doesn't really look to date anybody from the club, because I know the type of women in terms of the women that I majority meet in the club is not what I'm looking for. Now, I could be one of those men that these 4 women are talking about. Well, where are they then? They're not in the club. I don't know how many times I could say it. We're not in the club. We're just not in the club. Because the majority of women that we meet in the club is not what we want. I may be a DJ, I may be an artist. So the majority of time that I could spend whenever I go out could be in the club. That doesn't mean that that's where I want to meet my potential woman. And after 20 years of that being the place where the majority of the time, that's where I meet new people. After 20 years, I can sincerely say, yeah, it's never worked. And when it has, it's not gone well. It's not turned into a lasting relationship. I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm not a drinker at all, really. I'm more of a homebody. But I'm out there because that's part of my profession. That doesn't mean that that's where I want to meet a potential partner. And trust me, when I'm ready to start looking, because the reason why I've been single for the last 9 years is because there's a lot of inner work that I need to do. I've said this in previous videos, but there's a lot of inner work that I still need to do before I think it's fair for me to actually enter into a relationship. There's insecurities that I need to get rid of. There's past trauma that I still need to deal with. Loads of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But that's my choice. I'm choosing to stay single. But when I'm ready to go out there, the club is going to be the last place I'm going to be looking. The last place. And yeah, I'll get rejected here and there. Like, I'm not that full of myself that I'm going to find the love of my life the first chance that I get. But that's a fact of life. Even at 43 years old now, it may still take a while before I find the right person for me. That's just me being realistic. And that's my personal situation. And I could be I am one of many. I am one of many. It's not that I might be. I am one of many men, black men, that love a natural girl. That would want to be with I want to be with a natural girl. I love that. Stretch marks, natural hair, whatever. I don't care. I appreciate a woman for who they are. But yeah, I love a natural girl. The last thing I am going to do is complain about girls that I don't like. And go to another man and say, oh, I can't find the woman that I want because all the women that I'm seeing is like this. I will look somewhere else then. I'm sorry, maybe that's just me. But that's just instantly going to be my instant reaction to anybody who's saying anything. Right, we'll look somewhere else then. Stop thinking that the club is the centre of the universe when there's a fucking big, massive, wide world out there. Get out of your bubble. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your box. Look somewhere else.
It doesn't matter whether or not women agree or not. This is what men say. And when I say the man them's voice, this is what I mean. The man them speak about this, but they won't do it because who wants to go through what I go through? It's long. Like, it's long.
So, right. So you're saying the man them don't want to go through, they don't want to, what? The man them are saying this, but they don't want to say it because who wants to go through what you go through? You know you're the only person who controls how people perceive you, how people take you in, how people understand you. You know you're the only person who can control that. So if the majority of rooms that you go into, you end up finding yourself in argumentative situations, at some point, someone's got to be able to find a middle ground. At some point, in there. It's like, that's why all of them are laughing. That's why my girl who said that she's got complicated feelings about you, her feelings have not changed by the looks of things. Like, you're not winning anybody over. So wouldn't there need to be a change of tact? Or are you just going to go away thinking, oh yeah, women don't care, women don't listen, blah, 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 blah. Like,
So you see that part, yeah? You see you saying that who wants to go through it's long, they won't speak about it. It's one thing to speak about it, it's another thing to actually act on it, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Because, like, if they don't want it, why are they, I'll go back to what I said before, why is that what they're taking? If they want the girl who is more of a black aesthetic, why are they not
just
going
like the
for
girl
that?
that doesn't want, just like the girl that doesn't want to conform, when the numbers, when you have 10 women, right? And you have 2 women that say, I want to wait till I want to be a virgin, I want to wait till I'm married, I want to be natural hair, I want to do all these things, cool. Shout out to those 2 women. When you have 8 women that are about to let the side down, those 2 women are going to feel in order for me to get something.
I'll let him finish, but let the side down, okay.
I'm going to have to conform with the other women. So now the 2 women are let down by the 8. If the other 8 women raise their standards, this is what I'm going to talk about, because women are the standard, right?
Let me just run all of that back. Run all of that back. She asked you why I met that I did right, and as I did, I'm a man listening to this, I'm a man watching this, and I'm like, what? Oh, let me run it back and then I'll break it down.
What I said before, why is that what they're taking? If they want the girl who is more of a black aesthetic,
Yeah.
why are they not
Just
going
like the
for
girl
that?
that doesn't want to conform. Yeah. When the numbers, when you have 10 women, right? Mm-hmm. And you have 2 women that say, I want to wait till I want to be a virgin, I want to wait till I'm married, I want to be natural hair, I want to do all these things, yeah, cool. Shout out to those 2 women. When you have 8 women that are about to let the side down, those 2 women are going to feel, in order for me to get something, I'm going to have to conform with the other women. So now, the 2 women are let down by the 8. If the other 8 women raise their standards, this is what I'm going to talk about, because women are the standard, right? Women are the standard. No nation can rise higher than the standard.
So what he's saying is, me as a man, I've got 10 women stood in front of me. I've got 2 women that are the women that I actually want to go for. Natural, whatever, red. There's 2 women that are the women that I actually want to go for. They're saying they're going to wait till I'm a virgin, they want to get married, whatever. This is what he said, yeah? But then there's 8 other women that are BBL, whatever, bust down, there. He's saying that me as a man, I'm just going to conform to the 8 women that don't have what I want, because there's only 2 women that do have what I want. So you're saying that men are weak, rather than holding their nerve and being strong and holding out for the one that they do want, they're just going to go with the majority. And you're now trying to turn it round. The 8 women are letting the other 2 women down because the 8 women need to raise their standards to you. They need to raise their standards for you. So you want more women available that you actually like, rather than just going for the one that you actually want. You want more choice. You just want more choice. Because if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be talking about only 2 out of 8 women that are actually what I want. If that's the case, then that's the case then, bro. That's what you have to go for. If you're going to put it on a wider scale, out only 20% of the women that are out there are actually what you want, well, that's the 20% that you need to go for then. And if you can't find the person that you want out of that 20%, then that's on you. That's not on them. That's on you. That's not on them. Why is it that the other 80% have to now turn around and conform to the 20% just for the sake of you? And again, if you're saying, okay, if you're trying to say that the majority of black men, 80% of black men are scrambling for 20% of black women that are natural and you're saying 80% want 20%. There's an overwhelming majority of black men that want natural shit. Then why are they wasting their time with women that they don't want? Because if there would have been any clear indication, if you're trying to say that women are conforming to this or women are conforming to that, if you're trying to go and keep arguing the point of women do their hair for this and everything that women do is for men, to get the attention of men and this, that, and the third, yeah? What would be the best way to prove and let women know that men don't like this? By not going for the women that have that, by not putting up with the women that have attributes that they don't like. Why are you not telling those men, hold your fucking nerve, stand on what you want, don't accept, don't just put up, hold out. Don't give in to your loneliness, just hold out. Look in different places, explore this, that, and the third. Stop boxing yourself into thinking every woman that you meet represents all women that are out there. Because that'll be your first problem straight away. Why are you not telling the men this? Because this is what I'm telling men. Don't give in to your fucking loneliness and just accept anything and have to put up with anything. Make the effort. Make the fucking effort. And if after that all it's going to come down to is sexual urges. Oh, well, I've got blue balls and Well, again, that's a you problem. That's not the woman's fault. That's on you. And at this point, I want to end the video here because there shouldn't be anything else that needs to be fucking said after that. But he's going to try and talk some more shit.
Than the shoulders of its women, right? So women are the standard, okay, and then the women drop the standard. The men that would have had to,
Drop the standard for who? Drop the standard for who? Have you ever heard the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder? So whose standard are you talking about? Because your standard is going to be completely different to a lot of other men's standards. Everyone's standard is not going to be exactly the same. So when it comes to dropping the standard for who?
buy you a ring and do certain things for those 2 girls, going to be like, why am I going to bother with them 2? I have 8 girls that are saying to me, I don't have to go and do that. And ultimately, that's...
So that's your weakness. That's you going for the easy option. Why am I going to just go for them 2 gal when I've got 8 gal here say you did it? But they're not the gal that you want though, innit? They're not the gal that you want though, innit? You want them 2 gal. So why are you making do for the 8 gal that have what you don't want just because they're giving you attention? That's on you, bro. That's not on the 8 gal. That's on you. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
That's what happened. So yes, I will speak to men, and I do speak to men, and I hold men to a high regard. No, you
fucking don't. No, you fucking don't. Not if your constant focus is on what women are doing. You're not holding men to a higher regard at all. If this is the argument that you say that, oh, men are just going to go for the 8 women that they don't want because the two women are making them wait. Wait, pussy-o, wait. That's what you tell the man them. Otherwise, they're going to keep running into these problems that they keep fucking complaining about. What the fuck are you talking about? Holding men to a higher regard. No, you're fucking not.
You know why? Because men obviously choose and they go and create that, but at the same time...
What, hold on, run that back.
Men. And I do speak to men, and I hold men to a high regard. I hold men, do you know why? Because men... obviously choose and they go and create that.
Men obviously choose and they go and create that. Your words, not mine.
But at the same time, accountability falls on both people to create life. Yeah, accountability on male and...
This is another... Oh, I'm glad he's touching on all of these points. Oh, I'm so glad he's touching on all of these points. This is a word that I am getting sick and tired of men throwing about at women. Accountability falls on both sides. Right, so focus on your own fucking accountability. And if you're coming up against women that aren't taking their accountability, move the fuck on. Move the fuck on. You don't need to stay to show them, nah, you need to be accountable. No, go and find the woman that is already being fucking accountable. If you're so asked about accountability is on both sides. Yeah, accountability means that you've got to be responsible for what you're choosing to put in energy into. And right now, you're wasting time choosing to put energy into trying to show the other side how they're not taking accountability instead of looking for the women that are. Not once have you actually taken accountability for the men's side. You've hinted at it. Yeah, obviously men do go out and create that. But then you've tried to turn it back at the women. That's not taking accountability. That's claiming that you are, but you're waiting for the other side to do it first. That's what this looks like. Because somebody who's taking accountability knows when to walk away from somebody that isn't. They're not going to waste their time. Why? Why? Why are you torturing? If this is what men are really talking about, why the fuck are you torturing yourselves? Why are you torturing yourselves, wasting time on people you claim don't want to take accountability rather than looking for the people that are? You said you're holding men to a higher regard. That's step number one. Don't waste your time on shit that is not for you. Step number one. You want peace, yeah, you want peace. You want a peaceful life. This is what men say all the time. A woman should provide peace. Okay then, go and look for the woman that provides peace. Why are you wasting your energy on women that don't? Why? Every male friendship that I have had where they have ended up staying in a relationship because they cheated, I've told them, leave. Leave. Why are you wasting your time? You're coming to me talking about, oh, she's nagging you, she's getting at you, she doesn't trust you. Leave then. You fucked up, you cheated. Leave. You shouldn't have done that in the first place. Leave. And to the men that haven't done anything but they're in toxic relationships, leave. Leave. You want to be appreciated? Go to where you're appreciated. Stop fighting to stay where you're not. And this is on both sides, men and women. Go to where you are appreciated. Truly appreciated. Stop fighting to stay where you are not. Yeah, man, it can get lonely at times. Don't give in to your loneliness. If you don't want to get hurt, don't give in to your loneliness. Stay vigilant about yourself. None of this is making sense to me. None of what he is saying, yet he claims to be holding men to a higher regard. And if this is what he's going out, and this is the attitude and the version of himself that he's presenting out there to show people, yeah, no, this is what I do, I speak to men. You've not said anything about what you actually say to men. All it sounds like is like you're some sort of Samaritans and men just come up to you and just complain and you don't offer no solutions whatsoever. You're not offering anything to the men and their actions and the choices that they are choosing to make. As you said, obviously, men make the choice, men choose to go out and create this, your words. And if there was supposed to be more context to those words, if there was supposed to be more context to that, instead of rushing through everything, take the time to explain to the women them that you're trying to convince. Because as a man, you're not fucking convincing me. If I'm trying to speak to a man and trying to get them to have confidence in themselves, feel themselves, start trying to make the right decisions for themselves, I am not going to be blaming a woman. I'm going to be looking at the choices that he's making to end up in the situations that he finds himself in. You know why? Because he can't control anybody else. He can only control his actions. It's futile to try and control, try and tell somebody else that is not doing what you want them to do, how you want them to do it. No, go and find the person who is doing what you want, who has what you want. What the fuck is all of this?
Female.
Yeah.
But responsibility, unfortunately, is going to fall on the women. Difference between accountability and responsibility. Understand what I'm saying? To create life, you lay down. That's a...
How have we even got to the point of talking about creating life when you can't even you can't even stick to the preferences that you actually want? How have we got to talking about creating life? How? When you're talking about, you're just going to pick the 8 gal that are not what you want, but they're giving you attention, and you're just going to make life with gal that are not what you want, but they're just giving you attention. What? What are we talking about? How does that make sense? We're talking about creating life. Precious life. Precious. Yeah? Precious. Innocent. They have no control into the life that they are born into. None whatsoever. And you're basically saying that the majority of men, and you're actually saying that this isn't a choice that they have to rectify. No, women need to come better and change the way that they are, even though they're not what these men want. And they can actually go out and find men that want what they have. No, they have to change for the men that don't want them because of creating life. What? Let me say that again. You are trying to advocate for men, yeah, to get women to change, to get women that these men don't want to change themselves so these men can create life with them. Rather than these men going and finding the women that have all the attributes, or at least the majority of the attributes that they actually want. And I'm not talking a little 50-50. I'm talking 80-20. Go and find the women that have 80% of what you want. And that 20% is going to be the deal breaker. If that 20% is enough to break the deal, cool, that's your choice. But that should be the standard. It shouldn't be no 50-50. Oh, well, she's got this fake this and fake that and da-da-da. There shouldn't be enough reasons for you to turn around and look somewhere else. There shouldn't be that. That shouldn't be the case if you're talking about creating life. That should not be the case if you're talking about creating life. You're the one who's talking about holding men to a higher standard, holding men to a higher regard, because that higher standard is what you want for yourself. If you're seeing that the majority don't hold that higher standard, go and look for the people that do hold it. You have the choice of what you go for. We're talking about what men go for, their preferences. This is where all of this has started. You're the one who's talking about men's preferences, what men want, what men are saying that they don't want. Okay, cool. Why are you talking to the women that don't have what these men want? Why are you focusing on them? Again, not once have I heard any piece of advice of what you're actually saying to men for men to be able to better themselves and put themselves in a position to be able to get the women that they want. Not once. Not once throughout all of this. You've been so focused on trying to tell them how women are wrong. Makes no fucking sense. You can't control women. All you can do is try and link with the people that are more in line with what you want. That's all you can do. Trying to get blood out of a stone, trying to change people that don't want to be changed. How?
Accountability for two people. But if you lay down with a deadbeat guy and he turns out not to be good, then responsibility is going to fall on you because you have to raise that child.
How have we got to this stage? How have we got to the stage of the women saying, why are men going for the women that they don't want? To women, well, you lay down with a deadbeat guy. Why are you talking to them as if they are the women that are doing that? Why is that even something that is in your head as a response? Why? Again, you're not explaining anything from your side in terms of if you are really talking to men, because that's what they're saying. They just want you to talk to the men. Okay, you're not going to talk to the men. Okay, if this is what you don't like about us, why are men going for that? You're not explaining that side whatsoever. The only honest part you've been able to say is you can't speak for those men. The only honest part all of this is a waste of time. All of your arguments against anything that they say has been a waste of time, because the conversation should have stopped there and it should have changed to what am I saying to these men that are complaining about the women that they don't want. I can't get past that. I really can't get past the fact that men are coming to this guy complaining to them about women that ultimately they don't want.
Why is the responsibility not on him?
On him.
See, no.
No, but why is it not?
There's a difference between accountability
I heard you
and
say
responsibility.
accountability.
No, it should be.
That's my point. That's all I needed. Because it should. Listen, that's all I needed.
No, but
because accountability, and responsibility are with both of the people who fucked and made the child.
But here's the thing.
It is. So, you cannot put more responsibility on the woman because the man's a deadbeat. You can't.
Who? If the guy turns out to leave you, who does it fall on?
Right. Operative word is turns out. So many times, yeah, the men that are coming with these arguments, and I'm going to say men because it's this man who said it, who's using the words turns out. There's a reason that they use the word turns out. Because something's changed. From how it began in the beginning, something has changed. Now, in the case of it being the man is a deadbeat, how is it that it's turned out that way? Because the man didn't present himself as a deadbeat in the first place. But this is the particular example you want to use. But when you lay down with a deadbeat, instead of a guy like me, I'm not no deadbeat, but when you lay down with a deadbeat, you've got to take responsibility for that. Okay. So you're making the assumption that either one, hold on, not the assumption. You're making the case that either one, the woman knew he was a deadbeat and still laid down with him anyway. So anything that she got afterwards, she knew. It wasn't what she wanted. Responsibility is definitely on her. Or two, as he said, turns out, because again, for something to turn out a different way, something has to change. So two is, the man presented himself not to be a deadbeat, but it turned out that he was. This is the context. This is the nuances that these types of arguments always end up skipping over. And again, I'm only talking about the man here because he used the example of a woman laying down with a deadbeat man. Now, there's only two ways that can happen. One, the woman knew that he was a deadbeat and laid down with him anyway. Or two, the man presented himself not to be a deadbeat, but it turned out he was a deadbeat. He ended up being a deadbeat. Either way, man's a deadbeat, innit? And he's lucky if he does get anybody that chooses to lay down with him, because in your words, he's a deadbeat. He shouldn't be getting laid down. He shouldn't be able to lay down with anybody. As a man, you can't be no deadbeat. You can't be no deadbeat as a man. Why like, unless you're bigging up the guy, rah, man's a deadbeat and he's able to draw this and draw that and rare. That's not something really to big up. That ain't anything really to applaud. Especially if you're holding men to a higher regard. And if that's the case, why are you looking at women that are laying down with deadbeats? They shouldn't even be in your peripheral. They shouldn't even be in your consciousness. You should not be looking over there. So why is that? I keep wondering why these things are such a topic of conversation. As a person who's supposed to be speaking for men, for the betterment of men, to raise up men, black community, this, that, and the third. Men are supposed to be leaders. Women are supposed to be the standard. Men are supposed to be the leaders, innit? Okay, so as leaders, we've got to lead by example. And if our example is we're going to put up with less than what we want, rather than doing the work to get the actual women that we want, then that's a shit example to be leading by. I'm sorry. And justifying that in any kind of way, shape or form is a waste of time. Completely. If we're going to talk about accountability, we're going to talk about responsibility, justifying you as us as men lowering our standards and going for women that we don't want as an example to lead by, then you're giving the world, you're giving the masses, you're giving even your own men that you're trying to speak for, a shit example to lead by. Because I'm going to more cuss the deadbeat man than I am going to cuss any woman if I'm really speaking for men, if I really want to lift men up. I have no chat for no woman who I don't think fits my standard. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to draw no attention to them. Why? Because they don't fit my standard. And if I'm supposed to be speaking to other men and we all have the same standard, what the fuck are we wasting time talking about women that we don't want for? Time is money. Why are we wasting time and energy talking about women that we don't want for? That ain't no standard. That's no, again, that's no example to fucking lead by if we as men are supposed to be fucking leaders.
But it should
go the other way as well.
It's not about what it should be. We live. This is a kumbaya.
Sorry.
It's not about what it should be, but yet you're trying to tell women or trying to advise or trying to speak on what men believe women should do. It's not about what it should be. It's about what we men think it should be. It's not about what it should be in this context. It should be what about it. It should be about what it should be in this context that I want to talk about. I'll run it back. I'll let him finish his point. I'll run it back.
You cannot
okay.
put more responsibility on the woman
I didn't
because the man's a deadbeat. You can't.
Who? If the guy turns out to leave you, who does it fall on?
But it
But it can go the other way as well.
It's not about what it should be. We live. This is a kumbaya.
That's where, sorry,
that's
so
what
that's where, but that's
responsibility
where we
is.
have to change the narrative
No, okay,
because it does that language where it's always like,
Okay.
well, you're going to bear the child and you're going to bear the
Alright,
responsibility.
alright.
Then it's your fault. The woman's a
I'm
whole
not
giant
doing
sadist.
that. I'm not
Okay.
doing that. But what I would teach, I don't have a daughter, but my sister, I'll teach her. Yes.
And your son?
And my son. No, I'm talking about my sisters, right? Because my sister, I gave her my sister in lockdown. She got married. I literally raised my sister with. That's how we look at. I gave her away, right? Yeah.
Okay.
How I raised her and my father raised her is this, right? This your body is sacred. You can do whatever you want with your body. This is your body is sacred, right? Yeah. If you ask for a ring, certain things men will give you that ring. If you choose not to, then men will not give you the ring. There's a reason that all my 3 sisters are married because they said this is more wives and this is the requirement that we go and put on ourselves, right? What
Articulate
I'm saying
your
to
point.
you is if my sister comes home, the responsibility will fall on myself as the older brother, my father, to protect my sister. If this guy's a waste man, whatever he does or not, the responsibility falls on our family. So what we teach women is, if you get down with a guy,
Right. All of this here, I have no arguments with. I was the same with my sisters. I'm going to teach them as much as I possibly can. Because, you know why? Because we know men. As a man, I know all the men in it. Like you said, if you want a man to give you a ring, they're going to expect certain things and And if they're not coming with this, the other side of it would be, if that man isn't coming with this, and this, then don't lay down with them. Don't give them nothing. Don't step there. You know why? Because I know men. And if you're saying that if she comes home and she's got this wrong and that wrong, the responsibility is going to be on us men to protect her from other men that are going to do her wrong, that are going to put her in bad situations. And yeah, there is her choice. But we're doing this to protect her from who? Other men. Not other women. Other men. So if that's the case, why are we not talking to other men about how they are with women? Prevention is better than the cure, innit? So why are we not talking to other men? Yo, you see this madness that you're going on with? You know that's not going to run with my sister, innit? I will broke your fucking foot. I will boss your ass, whatever it is. You know that's not going to run. You know that's not going to run with my sister, innit? And then to back that up, we can't also be men that even though we will say this to other men, to not do that to our sister, we're going to do this to other women, though. We're going to go out and cheat on other women. And cheating our women with other women. We're going to go out and lie to them, manipulate them, abuse them. We're going to go out and make out as if anything that you do wrong is nothing to do with you. It's all the woman's fault. We're going to go out and do the very thing that we don't want. We're going to go out and do to women the very thing that we don't want to happen to our sister or our mother or our auntie. We're not going to hold ourselves up to that same standard. And we're not going to teach men to hold themselves up to that same standard and not go for women that exhibit the toxic behaviors that they wouldn't want their sisters to exhibit from men. To receive from men, sorry. The very toxic behaviors, we don't want no fakeness, so we want honest women, yeah? So you would have to be an honest man. And you would want to build up and surround yourself with honest men. Men with good morals. Yeah? Because you want an honest man for your woman, innit? You want an honest man for your sister. You want an honest man for your mum, for your aunties them, for your cousins. You want an honest man that's going to take care of them, not do them no bad, no abuse, no da-da-da-da-da. So why wouldn't you want to surround yourself with honest men? And part of that honesty, bringing it back to what you were talking about before, part of that honesty is going to be honesty about the actions, the choices that they are making. And if they end up going for women that they don't want, then they need to be honest about it and hold themselves accountable. And that shouldn't be something that's in there. Do you know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be something that is in your sightline or anything like that. All right, you're going out in this dating world, you're meeting people, this, that, and the third. You find out they're a certain way, you leave, bro. You leave. It shouldn't even be a second thought. You leave. You start exhibiting this, that, and the third. Leave. Because you're looking for a particular woman. You're not looking to make too many compromises. Because you hold yourself to a certain standard, so you want your woman to hold themselves to a certain standard. So that means you have to go out and look for that woman with that standard. Fuck all of this. Oh, well, the majority are slack. All right, cool. That says more about you than it does about them. Because it's still your responsibility for the choices that you make. And if you find yourself laid down, same way, you find yourself laid down with a woman that you would not think twice about. They don't meet your standard. That's on you. Same way being a deadbeat is on the man them. Because again, you don't want no deadbeat around you. You don't want no deadbeat around you. You're not going to hail up the deadbeat. You're cussing the deadbeat, man. You're cussing him. You're also using him as a way to cuss the woman. Oh, well, you laid down with the deadbeat. You got to take responsibility for that. Yeah, because he's a pussy hole, innit? Because he's a deadbeat, innit? What are you, as a high standard woman, what are you doing with this pussy hole, man? Alright, so what? That should be where it stops. Because if anything, oh, well, your standards must not be that high if that's what you're going to get with. Cool. In a bit. Nothing more to be said. Nothing more to be said. If we're talking about dating, nothing more to be said. Conversations with friends and, do you know what I mean, family members and this, that, and the third is different. But dating, nothing more to be said. You're not my type. You're not my standard. We're not compatible. Let's not waste no time trying to see if we fit when we don't fit. And I know in myself, nah, that BBL is going to piss me off. Nah. Them fake tits are going to piss me off. Nah, that wig is going to piss me off. If I know myself that that's what's going to piss me off, then I have to take the responsibility of whether I choose to stay there or not. And then that's something that comes up as a way of retaliating against this woman. That's still my choice. That's still my responsibility. That's still my accountability. I made the choice to stay there. And this is the women's point from the beginning. If you can't talk for the men that are going for the women that you don't want, then the conversation should have ended there.
Yeah, and he hasn't claimed you. He hasn't. Then chances are, yeah, if he walks away, turns out to be a waste, whatever it is, the responsibility will fall on you. He is still responsible for creating that life and leaving you. But when you have to pay your bills and you're by yourself, it doesn't matter about the other stuff. And
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
okay, I hear you.
That's what I'm saying.
I hear you, right? But isn't there also a responsibility to teach the men in your family to not be like that?
100%.
Okay.
So why? I'm gonna make this point, and then I'm just gonna finish the video here because it's just gonna piss me off. I'm gonna run it back just so then we've got everything that he's agreed to. We've got everything that he said. Yeah.
When you have to pay your bills and you're by yourself, it doesn't matter about the other stuff, and that's all I'm saying.
Okay, I hear you.
That's what I'm saying.
I hear you, right? But isn't there also a responsibility to teach the men in your family to not be like that?
100%.
Okay.
If that is the case, then why is the majority of your talk in regards to black women? If you agree 100% that our responsibility as men is to teach other men not to be like that, why is the majority of your talk women taking accountability? Why is everything that you've been arguing for been in regards to what women are doing wrong, when our responsibility as men should be to teach other men the right way? Why is this whole 10-15 minute conversation that you've had with them that has ended up being a longer video that I've made into it, and I admit that, but why is all of this being about more from your side, been about what women should be doing rather than what men should be doing? If you can agree with that 100%, then the majority of your talk should be, oh, if a woman is doing this, that, and the third, go one side. Go and find the woman that you want. The majority of the talk should be talking to men. You can't do anything about women, and in regards to helping men out, blaming women is not going to help them. It's just going to fuel their frustration and make them think that all women are the same. Because that's what you're doing. That's what all of you are doing. That's what every single one of you podcasts, Manosphere, Red Pill, fucking dickheads, that's what all of you are doing. All of your focus is just on the women. All the clips that get put out by other people as well as yourself is just on the women. If your focus was more about the men, then there wouldn't be any need to talk about the women. If you agree 100% that as men, our responsibility should be to teach and show other men to be good men, we should have no chat for the women, because if it's 100% that's our responsibility, then 100% that should be the women's responsibility on their side. And as long as us men are pointing other men in the direction of good women, because we know they are good men, because we're teaching them to be good men, then that would be the clear indication that we are making to the bad women that we don't want them. Because all our focus is on the good women. All our focus is on finding the good women. I'll relate this to music. I'm a musician. Do you think I'm wasting any fucking time finding music I don't like? I might hear a track or two. I might hear a lot of stuff that I don't like. But once I've heard it and I know I don't like it, I ain't listening to it again. Oh, well, yeah, but if you're listening to the radio, you're just going to hear loads of really shit music on the radio. Okay, I'm not listening to the radio then. I'll stick to the music that I have got, and if I hear something that I like, I add that to my collection. If I know that if I listen to something, I'm going to hear the majority of what I don't like rather than what I do like, then I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to listen to something else that provides the majority of what I do like instead of what I don't like. It's a really simple concept. Really simple. You think I waste time on content that I don't like? You think hate watching? You think I waste time hate watching shit? No. I'm gonna end the video there because I'm just gonna get more wound up the more I watch this, because he's not he's not providing any good arguments whatsoever. The cognitive dissonance is ridiculous. The claims of speaking for men, do you know what I mean? If you are speaking for men, you're not speaking for them in the right way. And your focus is completely off. Your focus should be on the men, not the women, if you are speaking for the men. You should not be coming out and representing complaints from men about women that these men don't want. That's not something that I would want to represent. I have a horde of men behind me that are so angry about women they don't want. And I'm going to let you all know about it. Because even though they don't want you, you need to change instead of me pointing them in the direction of the women that they do want. And, okay, people can say, oh, well, if all we're seeing is women that we don't want, then what have we got to choose from? Like, oh, it's so hard. Like, if that's all that's available, then step out of your fucking comfort zone, bro. That's all I can say to you. Look somewhere else. Look somewhere else. Look harder. Because if you're saying the alternative is you have to put up with stuff that you don't like, then I'm not going to wish that for you. I'm not going to agree with that. Why? Why would I agree with that? Or just make do with what you don't like, mate. That's what everyone else does. Why? I'm sorry, I'm not that type of person. I'm not. Especially if we all know it's going to lead to toxic situations and choices that are being made that you don't even want to make. Like, you're just doing it just because. To that, I say, fuck off. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Then hold yourself to the same standard that you claim you want. Because if the alternative is you're going to lower your standard to something that you don't want and then complain about it, then again, that's your responsibility, not anybody else's. It's certainly not the other woman's. That's yours. You made that choice. Try harder. And again, this is coming from somebody who's been single for 9 years. And at no point am I blaming any woman anywhere for me being single for 9 fucking years. Fuck off.